Hey everybody, before we get this review started, I just wanted to give you another reminder. If you guys don't know, I am a filmmaker as well. I love movies. In fact, Frankenstein is what inspired me to make movies. And so I am going to be releasing the first teaser trailer for my first movie, Dr. Imperfect and the Perfect Man, aka Drimp, this Friday. You will be able to see it on this channel and a lot of other places too. So, on to the review.
Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. Today we are doing Son of Frankenstein, and it was made in 1939, I believe, and it starred Bela Lugosi, and I can never think of him. The Basil Rathbone played the son of Dr. Frankenstein. He's actually not a kid. He's a married adult and a doctor, and they have a little boy who's, I don't know, maybe 3 years old, and he has curly blonde hair, and I guess he's supposed to be like his mother. But anyway, I'm not sure who plays the wife, but she's pretty good, actually. And then there's also an inspector, and I think I've seen him before in some mystery movies. He usually does play a cop. So anyway, overall, this movie was kind of strange. I don't know. I don't think it was that good. I read on the internet that people say this was Bela Lugosi's best performance ever. Which I don't know. I guess the thing is that
I don't think
people are so used to seeing him as Dracula, and he's playing something different. A person who's very sinister, because he plays the role of Igor, and Igor was, because last time he had gotten all these bodies for Dr. Frankenstein, they had charged him with murder, or getting, not murder, but what would you call it? I don't know what they called it back then. It's like, right now, it's like desecrating a corpse or something. There's even a better word that they use. And they tried to hang him, but it failed. So they let him live, and then he just went off, and they didn't even know what happened to him, and they just said, forget it. So, that's what the role of Bela Lugosi plays. And that's what everybody says on the internet, that that's his greatest role. He did the best ever.
Well, here's what I have to say about the movie, first off.
Okay.
This is the sequel that we could have gotten for part 2. This is exactly what they could have done, and they didn't do.
I mean, instead of The Bride?
Yeah, well, it just feels like this is what we would have expected them to do. It's a very straightforward sequel. They changed the lore a lot. And I really hated how they twisted and changed the lore. Like, one of the things was, the inspector, the monster, supposedly in Bride of Frankenstein, he just went into people's houses and killed them, including children. That didn't make any sense at all. Mm-hmm. And he tore off the inspector's arm when he was a child. And I just thought, that's so stupid and so unrealistic, and just never would have happened with Karloff's Frankenstein's monster. So I hated things like that. And then at the end, he's about to throw the little boy into the sulfur pit, and then he just decides not to, and it's like, they were referencing when he threw the little girl into the pond. He did that on accident. He did that because he wanted to see if she would float. He didn't do that to kill her. So that whole thing, I thought that was so stupid. Stupid. I hate this movie. When I was a kid, we were visiting relatives in Illinois, and I didn't even know this movie existed, but they got it from a local video store, and they put it on, and I was really excited, like, oh my god, another Frankenstein I've never seen? And I actually fell asleep watching the movie because it was so boring. And guess what? It's still boring. It's the most boring, awful, awful movie. I hated this movie. And I mean, I'm serious. I hated this movie. Safi, what do you think? What do you have to say?
I vaguely remembered seeing it because in this movie, Frankenstein has this, like a furry, it's a fleece jacket.
I do like that. I think that's cool.
And Marco actually found like a gray fleece that looks just like that. Of course, it's in black and white.
No, Safi found that and she was selling it. And I said, no, you're not going to sell that. It's mine now. And so I took it and used it in my movie.
But it reminds me of that garment that Frankenstein wore in that movie. So it doesn't have any sleeves. It's cut off in the movie. It's cut off at the sleeves, and that's what I remember most about it. But I don't remember any of the. I don't remember Basil Rathbone. I don't remember the little boy, the wife, the inspector, and the thing about the inspector, I thought he did a good job, but to me, he was more of a comical character. And
yeah, he had like a Doctor Strangelove thing where he had this mechanical arm and it kept on going upwards and he had to put it down, and it was like, why are they imitating Doctor... Oh, wait, no, that movie didn't come out yet, but like...
No.
It was so weird. His character sucked. Basil Rathbone, he really, really sucked. I mean, his character, it was just like, and they even made a joke about it, like, what is it run in the family for Frankensteins to be mad scientists? It's like, yeah, that is really stupid. It's like the new Scream movies where, like, all the killers are a part of the same family.
Yeah,
it's like so dumb.
Because he didn't even live there. He didn't grow. It didn't seem like he grew up there. They said they'd been in America, and they had just come from Europe to be there. So it's like, and he has a wife, and he has a child, and they seem to have a pretty regular existence together. It's
and
not.
He has some sort of
strange.
He has like a fixation on creating a monster, though, or something. It's just so weird.
That didn't seem genuine.
No, it didn't.
He found his father's notebook, which, for somebody who did this experiment on recreating life from pieces of a body and the heart and a borrowed brain and all this, there would have been books and books of notes, and it was a slim little volume, almost like, if you know what a children's, like a golden book, how thin, and that's what it was like. And I'm like, what kind of notebook is that? I mean, I have notebooks. I do like one a month because I put the sales, I put all kinds of stuff in it. And like, for instance, notes about this movie, for example. So so he finds that, and then he finds out about Frankenstein's still alive, but not really. He's been in kind of like a, what would you call it?
A coma state?
Stasis?
Then there's also this weird subplot where, like, these mysterious murders have been happening over the years.
Well, that's a deliberate thing. Those people hung Igor. Those 8 men hung him. They were the ones responsible for him.
Oh, okay.
And
I really had trouble paying attention to this movie. I was so bored. It was so convoluted, and it was like, why did they rewrite the past 2 movies? Why couldn't they just work with what they were given and make something new and fun, but work with what they had? Instead, they just rewrote this whole past, and they acted like all this stuff happened. It sucks. I hate it.
Well, he was getting back at them, and this is the part during the movie. Every so often, you would see Igor, and he was playing this horn, and it wasn't just a horn that played one note, like you're announcing the arrival of somebody. it played a melody, and he played it over and over, and it's like when he played the melody, this is way into the movie, Frankenstein would be out wandering the countryside, and then I guess that's when he killed these 8 people. He didn't do it all at once. There had been murders, they were unexplained, and the villagers said, "Oh, it's the ghost of Frankenstein." So I don't know if that the horn is linked with him doing this, like he trained him. It's just weird. So that's part of this 8 murder plot.
And I gotta say something about Lugosi, because a lot of people, they pretend like Bela Lugosi is a bad actor, and he wasn't versatile at all. He could only play Dracula, blah, blah, blah.
True.
But he proved in this movie that he's a really good actor, because he did at least do something that felt completely different.
Yes.
Whereas Boris Karloff, I gotta be honest, he sucks. His portrayal of the monster is boring as hell. He does nothing interesting with it in this movie, and he demonstrates that the only reason why he was good in the second movie is because of the script. He did a terrible job in this movie. I don't even think he should have been in the second one. I think he's trash. I think he's not the monster that he was in the first movie. He's just like a shell of himself. He's like a cardboard cutout of Frankenstein's monster.
I don't know, because I don't... this was another thing. In this movie, he doesn't speak. He doesn't say any words.
Yeah.
But in the second movie, and I don't think we even talked about this. The Bride movie, that's what I'm talking about.
We did, Safi.
He said all kinds of words, and in fact, at the end, when he sent Dr. Frankenstein and his wife, he sent them out and said, "Not you can go." I mean, he said words. And this, he was just grunting and groaning.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get that. How do you go from... He'd been socialized, and he still was socialized with Igor, although he'd been killing people, so that was an evil thing and a bad thing, so I guess that took over, but that wouldn't keep him from being able to speak. So that was another thing inexplicable. I didn't get that. I didn't get the fact that he could speak, and then now he can't. Why? Because he was caught up in that remember the explosion went off, and Frankenstein's in there, the Bride's in there, and Dr. Pretorius was in there.
Pretorius.
So three people, and it crashed around them. But of course, Frankenstein is like the old story of Michael Myers. Anything can happen to him, but he never dies. So maybe that's where they got the idea for Michael Myers.
It's the same with Dracula, too.
Well, but that's different.
It's not.
He's a vampire.
Well, no. Hammer Dracula, he's killed and brought back over and over and over again.
So anyway, now we know. I mean, the person who made Michael Myers probably drew his inspiration from this being recreated over and over and over again from Frankenstein and Dracula, which are the oldest monsters. If you think about those two movies were made in 1931, 1932. So they've been around a while.
Also, the movie starts off by establishing that the town hates Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Because he was like a mass murderer monster or something. But it's like, again, instead of working with what they were given, they chose to completely rewrite it and change it and make it into, they hate Frankenstein's name. They hate him. It doesn't make sense. It's like, why don't you work with the past sequel that you were just given? Don't create some new shit that you wanted to do. And it sucks. And the town is constantly like talking about Frankenstein. And it's funny because they were right. They were like, we don't want that guy here. He's just going to create a monster again or something. And they were right. Like, he immediately does. He brings back the old monster.
Well, he did, And that was another thing I thought that was strange, that Basil Rathbone, he didn't give a crap about it. And just because he found this little book of his father's, and the fact that he finds out the monster is still alive, although he's in kind of a coma, which he brings him out of it, so to speak, with this electricity, and he rebuilt that equipment that was damaged. But the thing is, while he was gone, the monster, Frankenstein, killed all those people. So if he's in a coma, how could he do that? He'd just be stuck in bed. People in comas don't go wandering the countryside. They're in bed. So I don't get that. That's completely. That's like what would you call oil and water? Oil and water story.
It was just like Basil Rathbone had to become Frankenstein, just like in Young Frankenstein, which this movie kind of took inspiration from, I think, in terms of the basic story. But it's really
that comedy. Well, that's what I was thinking with the inspector. I was thinking of that movie.
It's funny too because there's a line in the movie. It's probably the worst line so far in the series.
What's that?
It's something about like, you know, the inspector's talking to Basil about the Frankenstein name, and he's like, "I'll change my name. Maybe I won't be Frankenstein anymore." And the inspector says, "You can change the name, but you can never change the brand."
Yeah. That sounds like modern. That sounds like today.
That was so stupid. You can never change the Frankenstein brand. Oh! Why would they actually say that in a Frankenstein movie? Oh! Did they mean like a cow being branded? Is that what they meant?
No, they weren't. They're talking about what it means today. Your brand. Like I don't even want to mention he who should never.
You have a brand. You have a brand.
His brand.
You have a brand.
That's so modern, and this was made in 1939.
That was really weird.
Weird.
Did you have any other lines from the movie that you thought were terrible like that one? Because that, to me, that stuck out like a sore thumb. Like, you can change the Frankenstein name, but you can never change the brand. It's like, fuck you.
Oh, I just wrote, let's see, I wrote 3. Well, you know, like I said, he finds out from Igor. Because Igor.
Igor.
No, he wants Dr. Frankenstein's son to help him. And so, you know, he examines him. I think they do his blood pressure, and they might take his blood, and they did all kinds of, you know, like almost modern, like testing of his bodily functions or whatever. And he says he's completely superhuman, and because of the things that he came up with, it didn't fit a regular person. It was way over the limit or something.
He's a superhuman.
And then son of Dr. Frankie says he is an earthly. And so and
it's so bad.
Then, the son of Frankenstein, I'll just say Basil Rathbone, it's easier. He says, I think maybe we should kill him. And because he won't do anything anybody else says. He only does what Igor says. And Igor says, he is well enough for me. Well, there was one more, but that's not like as good as the Brand quote, because the Brand quote is like, you would think that was made today.
I think that a golden rule for sequels, by the way, is that any movie that has Son in the title is terrible. Like, you think about Son of Godzilla, that movie sucked. Right, Safi?
It was very, very
Son of Dracula. Oh God, that one sucks. Any sequel with "Son of" in the title is gonna suck, because at that point it's like, as I've said before, nobody cares about like movies about kids, about like the kids of characters. Whenever you have to have a sequel where it's like, oh, the whole plot of the movie is that like, oh, this is all about the son of Frankenstein. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about this stupid, boring character, Basil Rathbone. He's not Frankenstein. He's terrible. He's awful. There's no character arc for him in the movie either. He starts the same way that he ends the movie. He has no arc at all. And at the end of the movie, after all is said and done, he's in front of the whole town and he just says, "Okay, guys, bye-bye. Do whatever you want with all the castle and stuff. I don't care. Bye-bye." And he just gets on the train and leaves.
But wait a minute. Everybody cheers.
Yeah.
I'm like, they just lost 8 of their fellow... This is a town. A little village. They just lost 8 of their... and the butler... of their fellow citizens. And they were just, yay!
That's got to be the worst ending of
I
a
don't
Universal horror movie that I've ever seen, because it was so abrupt, it was so stupid. There was no like, they were gonna arrest and kill Basil Rathbone, and they just dropped it out of nowhere.
Well, they were in it. Really, they were afraid because they thought it was some kind of ghost, and then they thought he was making a new monster, which he wasn't. And you've got a crowd, we've seen this in recent years, out of control, and they could have killed him, his wife, and his kid, and they wouldn't even thought anything about it. And so they were afraid. I mean, they were in danger, and even the inspector, he started hanging around him. He said, "I can protect you. Why don't you tell me the truth?" And he never would tell them the truth. Not even when he finds out the little boy, Frankie the monster, visits the little boy, and little boy says, because he comes out of the wall, there's secret passage through the wall. Well, none of them know about it.
Yeah, that's another queer thing, is that there's this little window that you can look into, like the boy's room or something, and Igor keeps on looking at that through the whole movie. And then
It's a panel, and he slides the panel.
And then Frankenstein's monster looks through it, and it's like, honestly, that was really, really goofy and stupid. And I can't blame young Frankenstein for making fun of that, because that is really bizarre. It's like a peephole.
If it wasn't for that little boy, the inspector wouldn't have known that Frankie might still be alive. Mm-hmm. And because the little boy said, "This big guy came to visit me," and then when the inspector was somewhere else, the father, Basil Rathbone, starts asking him, "Well, what was he like?" And
he gives him gifts.
He gives him a watch.
And it's like, how is that consistent with the fact that this monster was on a murderous rampage in Bride of Frankenstein and killing children or doing stuff to children? How does that make sense consistency-wise?
And the little boy even gave him one of his fairy tale books. Mm-hmm. And it turns out the watch belonged to the butler, who went missing, and nobody knew what had happened to him. They really didn't.
I think the butler was probably my favorite character, because he was like a classic, like, Gothic kind of character. Like, he was probably the best one in terms of new characters. I did like the part where the monster tore apart the lab and he tore up the fairy tale book. I thought that was cool, but other than that, I hated this movie. It was so bad, I could hardly get through it. Safi, she loves it. She loves bad movies, but
No,
I have good taste.
I didn't like it.
Oh, really?
I just thought there were so many. I don't know what oil and water. I'll just call it oil and water moments.
Oh, and there's
oil and water activities.
This is a Frankenstein movie. There's no creation sequence. There's no sequence where they bring him to life. So that's a fail.
No, because what happened was he told the doctor, the son of the doctor, that he was in this coma type thing, and he was. I mean, and so they did that thing with the lightning. I said that already, and it woke him up for about 2 seconds, and then he went back. His eyes went back, but then he started walking, and then when he left, then of course he woke up, and Igor. See, that doesn't make any sense because he'd been out killing people in the countryside. By the end of the movie, it was eight men, but it was like 6 when they got there, when they moved in from Europe.
Igor.
And so he can't be in a coma and walk around the countryside. I'm sorry, it's just, so the thing with Igor, why was Igor telling him that? I just don't get it. I don't understand. Was he just saying that to just show him that he's still there, and then that he has control over him? I don't know. Or just the music would wake him up, and while the music plays, he's awake killing these people for him, these men who hung him and failed to do the job. And then when the music stopped, he went back to sleep again. I just don't know. I mean, that to me, that wasn't clear at all of that sequence of events. So anyway, yeah, it's not a good movie. And I guess the thing it showed, like Marco said, was that Bela Lugosi is not a one-note actor. And it's not fair for people to say that, because he made a completely different character that was not like Dracula at all. It was its own unique character. So if you want to see the movie just to see Bela Lugosi play this unique character, then he's in quite a bit of the movie. If you want to be disappointed by Frankie the Monster, then you could also watch it for that. And if you want to see Basil Rathbone try to play this character.
And by the way, this is the second Basil Rathbone movie we've seen on this channel, and we have just had terrible luck with him because the Sherlock Holmes movie sucked, the one that Safi picked out, and now now this one sucks. And so it really shows, like, is Basil Rathbone a good actor?
Yeah,
Because
I
don't know. I've never seen him do a good job in anything.
He does good. They had a lot of radio shows. Remember, they used to do radio, and they did extensive plays on the radio, and he was in a ton of Sherlock Holmes radio plays, and then they had some movies too.
To me, he's really boring. He's very white bread, and there's just nothing about him that I like so far from what I've seen.
Well, I like that character. He was in the last, and I did bring that up, but I don't know. It was very brief. It was like a cameo.
Well, the movie was good despite him then. Bride of Frankenstein.
The Bride of Frankenstein. He was with another guy, and they were hunting, and they came upon that blind man's cabin, and they saw Frankenstein sitting in there with the blind guy, and it got bad, and they were attacking. Everybody was attacking each other, and the blind guy's going, "What the hell's going on here?" Because he can't see, he doesn't understand, and they take him away, and that was Sherlock. But anyway, so that's it. I don't know if there's anything more you want to say, Marco.
Well, what's your food review?
Well, the only thing I can think of, although I don't know, I guess it is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's and I probably used this before, but and I don't want to say the pizza place's name. I hate to say that, but
Old Scratch Pizza.
we we do door dashing, although we've had to kind of lay low for a little bit because my husband had surgery, and so he's been recovering. I've had to help, so haven't been able to go out. But anyway, we've delivered Old Scratch Pizza, which is a relatively new pizza place in our area, and a few people have ordered from there, and so we decided I've mentioned this before, maybe Marco's mentioned it too, that we're gonna have all the pizza around here and then rank them all.
Yeah.
And so we've done tons of deliveries, but out of the 3 worst ones, and I say worst because they stunk up my car, and it was just awful to even be in the car with the pizza or whatever was in there, the other order, because it smelled so bad. And 2 of the 3 bad orders were Old Scratch, but I decided we had gotten this huge order, and I thought, we might as well just go ahead and try it, although it sure smelled, when something smells bad, it usually isn't good, and we tried it, and it was gross.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like it was cooked properly. It folded up.
It was so thin. It was very unsatisfying as like a meal,
I had maybe 1 or 2 bites. I really did not like it at all. And you see, I should have just stuck with. But we're to be fair, if we're going to rank all these pizzas, we have to try them all.
Yeah.
So, but this is no good. And years ago, I was a student at the University of Missouri, in Columbia, Missouri, and they have this pizza place called Shakespeare's, and it is an excellent pizza place, and even we were able to order it online and have it delivered here, and Marco loved it, and he's never been, well, we did, you might have gone to Shakespeare's Pizza, we might have gone there once, and it's just you can't beat it. And in fact, anything we've had here, I don't think it's a match, really, for how good it is. Domino's is pretty good, but I mean, Shakespeare's is really good. And so I've had this good pizza in my mind forever, and this Old Scratch pizza is like a 0, and the Shakespeare's is like a 10. That's just how bad it is. So the movie, although I wouldn't say it's a 0, but it's not good.
I would.
It was like the Old Scratch pizza. And I mean, when you get a pizza and you spend the money for it, and I only could eat 2 bites.
We spent $30 on the 2 pizzas.
It was not cheap. And but the place is full. We drive by there and it's always full. I think they just have pizza, don't they? Or what all do they have there?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, but it's always full there, so I guess people like going there, but yeah. So that's what the movie is like. And what about you, Marco?
Well, the other day I made steak, and the first steak was, I got a thick New York strip for Safi, and I seasoned it very well. But it really bothered Safi, and so I had this other ribeye for me, and there were 2 things about it. Number 1, I didn't put as much seasoning on it, which made it very bland. It was very bland tasting, because they were having such a problem crying like little babies over pepper. And then number 2, it was a lot thinner than I thought, and so I overcooked it accidentally. So it was just terrible all the way around, and I didn't even eat the leftovers. I ate the other steaks leftovers from Safi.
Yeah, he did it to the pork chops we ate last night, too.
And they were really good.
I had 1 bite, and I was about to die. I'm kind of allergic to pepper.
It's what you call seasoning, Safi. Black pepper is good for you.
I already had another event during the day where somebody decided to clean the oven. If you've ever done that, it just makes the whole place stink, and it's like overwhelming, and it got into a coughing attack. I couldn't breathe, and it was just awful. And then I ate Marco's pork chop, which it did taste good, but it was so spicy and hot, I couldn't eat it. I ate one bite. And so I ended up, we had twice baked potatoes, and they were really big. So I had that and really grown and cooked green beans. So.
Wait, I'm drawing a picture of Frankenstein for you.
Oh, anyway, so, when you have food that's either really good or really bad, it really impacts you. And so if you watch a movie and it's really good or really not good, it impacts you the same way. And that's kind of like why when we do movie reviews and we review a movie and we give a review of it, instead of giving it 5 stars or whatever they do, 8 stars, we do it compared to food, because food experiences can be equivalent to watching a good or a bad movie. So that's why we do the reviews that we do in the way that we do them.
Here, Safi.
So hopefully Marco's done drawing
Here's
this.
Frankenstein's.
Son of Frankenstein sucks.
You like it, Safi?
He didn't look happy either. And he's got his furry, I guess it's kind of like a vest.
He's got no arms.
Sheep's,
Or legs.
No arms.
He had no arms or legs. He
So
couldn't
that's
see or
it.
speak. This is how he led a nation.
So if you want to leave a comment, or you want to subscribe to our channel, you want to give it a like, we welcome all that. And have a good day. And I guess the next movie we will review will be Ghost of Frankenstein, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is, it is
More
the
like
next one.
more like the ghost of the franchise.
Which
Because
I
the
don't
franchise was killed with this bad movie.
I think the Ghost of Frankenstein might even be worse than this one.
Yeah, a lot of people they don't like Ghost of Frankenstein at all. So it would be really funny if we actually turned out to like it. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
No.
I think because it's only like an hour long too.
No.
So it was probably just made to ape off of the success of this movie if it was successful. It was probably like rushed, not really much effort or thought put into it. Igor comes back somehow, and he's...
Well, what happens during this movie, I don't think we said it, but
No, we didn't.
Sherlock shot him because he attacked him. And he was probably trying to kill him. Igor was trying to kill the Son of Frankenstein guy. And Basil Rathbone. And so he had a handgun, and he shot, which is, I don't know, I just thought that was kind of a weird thing too. He shot him, and he was lying down on a bed or a pallet, but it didn't mean he was dead. He didn't cover his face or anything, so he didn't look. He looked like he might have been dead, but he wasn't. And because if he comes back in the next movie, unless he comes back in the movie as a ghost.
I don't know.
So anyway, but he did get shot in this movie. So several times, maybe 4 times.
Because how does the monster come back in the next movie? You know?
I don't know. We'll see. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. I know that I probably will enjoy reviewing it because, well, I don't know. I'm just talking a bunch of shit, but just a quick reminder once again, on Friday you will get to see the first teaser trailer for my first movie, Dr. Imperfect and the Perfect Man, aka Drimp, and I hope that you guys enjoy.